Should Congress have an age limit? Why or why not? Congress was not given term limits in the Constitution because a majority of the founders' beliefs on this was that it was better for them to have a lot of experience so they can do better at their job. However, much later down the line, term limits were set for the president with a max of 2 terms served. So, whether it's probable to happen or not, should Congress have term limits? If so, for how long? We have a minimum age for Congress and the presidency because young people often lack maturity for office, experience, or a trustworthy track record. For similar reasons, I see no reason we can't also have a maximum age for Congress and the presidency. Senility in our leaders can be just as dangerous as inexperience and lack of maturity. There is also an argument that the elderly with a very short life ahead shouldn't be making decisions for those that have 50 or more years ahead of them. The elderly no longer have skin in the game. They don't have long to live with any of their bad decisions. Maybe. But it should be fairly high. Definitely north of the retirement age. I say this only because I have worked on multiple legislative bodies at this point and have seen firsthand that there is value in having elected officials who know how to do their job well and navigate the system. This should be taken care of through responsible voting. The problem, if you are of the mindset that there is one, is that too many just look for the incumbent as the easy choice. This can become problematic and those elected start to be less and less representative of the people. It should be on the voters to police, though, not regulations. Why not just let people vote for the people they want to vote for regardless of age? No need to shrink the pool just because some people have severe cognitive decline. If voters think someone is too scatterbrained to carry out their duties, then voters shouldn't vote for them. Median life expectancy -9 years, 2 terms, 1 year campaigning. So let's say the median all races, all genders is 76. I think that was for 2021. Then for you to register you would have to be 67 or younger at the time of registering. Hard stop. I'm not a fan of an age limit, but there needs to be a mental fitness assessment, probably annually. Yes. Government should have a mandatory retirement age of 70 for Congress and the Supreme Court. Presidents might do well with a younger retirement age of 67. Or the end of their term after they age out. The Congress becoming a retirement home is ridiculous. Yes, but I would be more interested in term limits. Why? Because it is critical to get a regular supply of fresh blood into the political system, which would more democratically represent the people than is currently. It's fundamentally undemocratic to set age limits for Congress. And I feel like there should be an extremely high bar for rules that take away democratic choice. Does nobody understand the role party politics play on the primaries here? Everyone is talking about the primaries like they aren't controlled by the party power players. Who has a better shot of winning the primary? The 80-year-old senator in a leadership position with full backing of the state and federal party establishment? Or a fresh new 80-year-old trying to inject new life into the system? The elder candidate has name recognition, money, power, and institutional backing. It's not as easy or fair as you people seem to present it. We could also be doing a lot more to make the primaries more accessible and easier to vote in. We have both term and age limits. They're called elections. If you don't like the old person, vote them out. And if they stay elected, then more people want them in office than you do. No. Because people can just not vote for the old person. They don't have to choose Feinstein or McConnell. We have a minimum age requirement. We should have a maximum age requirement too. No. I'm in my 30s for context. I think as we make medical advances, the population will live longer. And people should have the ability to elect representatives that reflect themselves. Term limits are a more viable solution that would allow representation without people holding on to power indefinitely. If you want to enact the will of the people, you should let them elect whomever they like. If you don't. Age limit. No. Term limit. Yes. We as a population need to stop voting for incumbents just cause you can remember their name. Put some effort in and understand what your representative is actually doing or not doing. Those still voting for people like Feinstein or McConnell are part of the problem. No one over 70-75 should be elected or appointed to office. 70-75 is the limit a lot of states have in place for their judges, so it's not a radical idea. There is an age requirement to be elected. There should be an age requirement to retire. The younger generation should always be in control of the government as they are more in tune with American society. Health of politicians has become a factor. Trump and Biden have both had their mental capacity challenged. McCain and Lewis died in office. Mitch and Dianne Feinstein have had age-related issues impacting their jobs. No. If the folks in Congress are too old, it's a failure of the public, not of the system. We, the people, have forgot our responsibility to the republic. We, the people, are waiving our own rights. I prefer term limits and cognitive testing rather than placing an age limit. I don't feel a young individual I'm 20 can know the needs of an 80-year-old. We all have different interests and needs, which is why we have representatives. Yes, and a term limit. Civil service at that level and pay rate should not be a career but a civic duty. They should be able to get as rich as they do. Term limit wise, I'd suggest 18 years in total. 3 terms in Senate and 9 terms in the House, and the limit can be split between them. With age limit, it should be whatever age Social Security is available at. They already give a government pension, and with SS they should be fine. As a nation, we have more or less determined that the age to get SS is when a person no longer fits the workforce, be it skill gap or just lack of being able to adjust. Age limit, no. Term limits, yes. But term limits are hard because it requires a constitutional amendment. Age limit of 80. 2 term limit for senators so they can last 12 years. I'd keep no term limits for congressional representation. Age isn't the issue. Health and mental acuity should be the criteria. John Wooden at 95 years old was a much sharper mind than some of these people in the Capitol. Yes, or at least a way to better represent the diversity rather than old white men. I think it's about to start self-enforcing in the Senate and at presidency level after Joe. Of course, Joe is grandfathered in and Dems think he will win. Which is so critical that we will just do that if it's the safest bet. But this Mitch McConnell and Dianne Feinstein situation is really causing some problems when the government is this partisan where you can't afford to lose a single vote. A younger team becomes a damn priority. If it's to be representative of the population, we need age-based affirmative action. There should be both age limits and term limits. Enough of these lifers tipping off the taxpayers. Yes. Biden and Mitch are both proof of that. In fact, Congress needs more than just an age limit. We desperately need term limits. We have term limits on the president to keep the power in check. But arguably McConnell and Pelosi had more political power and capital with their time in office than any president. Term limit, please. If they can't get much done in 4 years, they should just leave. They weren't prepared to do the work before they started. I would support term limits over an age limit. There is value to the experience age brings.